10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Lady, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store.
I turn down chicks left and right.
Your chicks are your left and right.
Enough! You are all of you beneath me. I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
Puny god.
It puts the lotion on. You have no idea what kind of hell I can bring you!
Oh, all right, enough, you broken record, okay? Been down here 2 weeks, man, what do you want?
It puts the lotion on its skin. Now!
Well, say it, don't spray it, brother, dang.
You know, there's a million fine-looking women in the world, dude. They don't all bring you lasagna at work. Most of them just cheat on you.
A date which will live in infamy.
Coming to you live from Laurentian University, CKLU 96.7 FM. This is Real Music.
How do you do?
Your bags are packed.
My bags are packed! I'm ready to go! Where are we going? Let's go! No! 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 No!
Oompa thing. It's pretty original, gotta get that.
And we're back for another week of Real Music. I'm your host, OJ. And in the studio we have... Introduce yourself to everyone.
I'm Cliff Skelliter. How you doing? Thanks for having me, OJ. I'm pretty pumped about this.
Let's see if I can get the right mic here. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Did I
there we
come
go.
through? Did I even come through? Was I just kind of talking to myself?
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, Cliff Skelliter, man. I'm pumped to be on the show.
Awesome. So, you are...
Who am I?
Yes. Yeah. Like, tell fine people about what you do.
Well, I do a few different things. I run a multimedia business called Your Media Production, so we're into all sorts of different types of media things. One of the fun projects that we're working on right now is a TV show called The Episode. So I produce and I direct that, as well as, wear many other hats in that regard because... as anybody knows with a production at the level that's not a $1 million budget, everybody involved has to wear many different hats. So, yeah, we produce a show called The Episode. It's hard to describe. I kind of consider it like a contemporary variety show, right? So our tagline is "Variety is the spice of life."
Yeah.
So we do all sorts of comedic stuff. One of the points of the show is we wanted to create a platform for, northern artists, right? To kind of get out there and show off their stuff, right? So we did one entire season already. I'm just kind of rambling at this point.
That's fine.
All right.
Go for it. Yeah. That's usually what we do here.
I do that. You just got to cut me off every once in a while.
Wait until we start talking about movies, and then if I had my co-host here, we would be going on. Oh
tangents.
Wait. It's almost time to go. And we were talking about superhero movies.
Yeah. No, that's exciting stuff, though. Basically, the show, we do comedy skits on it, so picture kind of like a Saturday Night Live, Tosh.0 kind of feel. We do, like, gags. We do, a lot of stuff that we put online, too, as well. We did a first season already, which was interesting. When we came up with the idea for the show, we were like, we weren't sure what the identity of the show was, right? So we're like, let's just start to produce something. Weird way to do it, right? Build the plane while you're flying it, right? And it was interesting, right? There was lots of ups and downs between the people involved with the show, between the show itself. I think it made us stronger in the end. It made us understand how to produce the show properly, and make it flow a lot smoother. So our first season was 32 episodes. It felt like it was never going to end at one point, which is never a good thing when you're working on any project. So we did 32 episodes. So, it basically starts off it's comedy. We start with a comedy skit, then we kind of talk about what's going on in the world, make some kind of jokes about that, and then we do a segment called On the Street, right? So basically where one of our reporters will go out, and we have a few different reporters in that role. Jenny Jellin from The Northern Life, Elise Tran gets involved with that, Andrea Solsky, who, if you ever get a chance to see her perform, it's absolutely amazing. She has a spectacular voice. A friend of ours, Shannon Martin, has come in on it, and Shannon Martin actually is a CBC reporter in Toronto. So she's graced us with her presence on the show, which is amazing. And so we get out on the street, and it's just different questions, what's going on in the world, and we go around, we ask people, all sorts of different types of questions, right? And then we get out of that, and what we will do is we have a musical performer, so local musicians, right?
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's exciting. We did our first season at SRO Nightclub.
Yes.
It was a good spot, good location-wise. It's very difficult to shoot a show in a bar, though.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you, it is very difficult. But it helped us grow our show, right? It was very important because right away, especially local people here in Sudbury, it lends the show more credibility, right? It's being shot at SRO. People know what SRO is, and they show up and they check it out. They could have drinks and just have a good time with us, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole point. And then it was this great opportunity to get, people, performers, musicians on tape right in front of a camera.
Yeah.
They perform and stuff like that, but, it's another level in their career, right? Is just like, being on camera, having that video out there, actually having people that you're not performing in front of them at that exact moment able to see you perform, right? So
yeah.
I think that was a really good thing about the show. Yeah. I could keep going, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I could tell you a story, actually, about one fella that we had on the show. And I don't know why I always forget his name. I'm the worst. I told you this before. I forget everyone's name. This is going to kill. Oh, Gordast. His name's Gordast. Amazing performer. Thank God I remembered his name. Gordast, fantastic performer. Me and my business partner, co-producer on the show, were at the Townhouse one night, and he was performing, and we were like, wow, this guy is absolutely amazing, right? So we approach him, and we're like, we do this little TV show, and it'd be really cool to have you on. He's like, the only thing is with the show, it has to be original material. And he's like, I don't know if I haven't written anything original in a while, right? He's like, let me chew on it, right? So he gets back to us. He's like, I'm going to write something. I want to be on the show. It seems like an amazing opportunity. So the day of, he writes a song. He's basically reading the song off of paper there. I could see the song scribbled down on the paper, okay? And he sings the song, and it's absolutely amazing. Like everyone, goosebumps, right? Spectacular performance, and we're all blown away by it. Now, months and months go by, and I'm in the grocery store, and Gord's in the grocery store, and he approaches me. He's like, you know what? I really just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on your show. And, of course, I was like, no, thank you for being on the show because, the people that perform on the show, they're what makes the show, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, to be honest with you, around that time, I wasn't sure, I wasn't booking any gigs. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, And after performing on the show, I decided that I was going to try to book some gigs. So I got a hold of a booking agent, and the agent was like, well, do you have anything out there that I could see? And he's like, well, I was on the show, The Episode. So he sent him to the website, theepisode.ca. I'm going to say that a few times during this.
For it,
There will just be like an hour and a half worth of me saying theepisode.ca. www.theepisode.ca is the website where you could see everything. So he sends this to the booking agent, and the booking agent called him back and booked him 9 gigs right on the spot.
Nice.
So, just a story like that, I love to hear that because, it just means that the show's having the effect that we want it to have, right?
Yeah.
So interesting.
It is. It is, and that's what the true meaning behind this show. You're doing with local talent. That's what I want to grow with this show as well, is to not just tell people what's new at the movies or what's number one at the theaters and everything. It's more like, okay, Jason Priestley was in town. We had Sam from True Blood. He was filming in town.
Yeah,
right. and these are.
Actually, I met the Sam guy.
Yeah.
Is that his real name?
And that's his name too.
That is his name.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I met him. Super nice guy, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course, and to also bring in people like next week we have a gentleman who was a PA on I think it was the Billy Baldwin movie that filmed here in town.
Yeah, which one? What was that one called again? Do you remember?
I think it's Be My Valentine.
Yeah, that might be it. Yeah.
And it's a Hallmark movie of the week.
Sounds like a Hallmark movie.
So, and when my sister was here, she was telling us too that she got to be on set.
Oh, cool.
And she was 20 feet away from Baldwin.
Yeah.
She's like, ask him if he wants to be on the show. It's like,
I don't think you're allowed to do that.
And then she told me that come meet me up at the Legion in Middle Lake. It's like, okay.
Yeah, love that Legion actually.
Baldwin's here. It's like, okay, because they were looking for a place to have like a hall, as it were, for their lunches and everything. So and it's nice weather and great for pictures up there too. Eh? Like you want the fall weather.
Love it
and
up
everything.
there because you have the whole lake in the background, right?
So she's taking a picture over by the flag that's in the back, and you see all the nice foliage and everything. And then she tells me,
good use of the word foliage.
Yes. And then she tells me, as she's like looking forward, she tells me, straight behind you at the table in the green shirt is Baldwin. I look around, like, don't make it look so obvious that you're looking.
Oh, you're just standing like a foot away from him, staring deep into his eyes.
And of all things, like he's just like anybody else. He's texting away.
Yeah.
And people it's their last day of shoot or whatever, and so they're taking pictures up there too. And he stands up, and it's like, oh, you can see the height of him. But he can't because his head's down and he's texting. It's like
yeah,
and his glasses on, of course, because you got to see that.
I love it. Just the technology, right? We all want to stay connected that way, right? Who knows what he's talking about? He could be texting his kids, right?
Yeah, or he could be saying, "Oh my God, this is such a beautiful town."
Hey, that being said, if any of my friends are actually listening to the show right now, text me. Text me something. I'll say it. I don't care what it is. Just text me anything, and I will say it. So, unless it's against the rules. There's a few rules. Yes. OJ ran me through the rules, and I'm trying my best to obey them.
Yeah. So some other things that we talk about here on the show, like I said before.
Oh wait, can I cut you off before I know this is your show.
Cut me off. Yeah, go ahead.
Because we were talking about Billy Baldwin. I don't want to move on from that yet. The only two movies I really know, I know Billy Baldwin's been his fair share of movies, but really the only hits I ever know of this guy having is Backdraft and Flatliners. Did he have any other successful movies? I know he did that one with Cindy Crawford. Do you remember that?
That was I remember that one too.
Yeah,
that was a
huge flop. Terrible movie. Terrible.
He did one with Sharon Stone as well called Sliver.
Oh yeah,
it was one of those erotic ones. Well, Sharon Stone is at the point where she was doing all this stuff.
Yeah, that's what she can't really do that as much anymore. It's not as erotic. It's just kind of creepy now.
She needs an oil
that's
can.
right. That's the one where he had like video cameras all over the apartment. I remember it. Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff. Like I said, we talk about upcoming releases and stuff that's done well at the box office. Like even though like we are in like the Saturday afternoon, I can't really bring up box office numbers because they've only been out for a day, and even that by this time there's only estimates.
Yeah, they don't even have it.
And so we talk about the week before. Yeah. So the week before, Skyfall came out.
Yeah.
And
biggest Bond movie.
Biggest Bond movie ever. Open. Yeah. And what's really funny is that I'm looking at the list here, and it was the only new movie last week.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You know what? That's how a lot of companies are booking now, right? They kind of get it in the sense that you look at some weekends that are so jam packed with releases, you're just like, wow, there's like 8 movies being released. This is insane, right?
Yeah.
And now people are kind of getting the point, right? I mean, you look at the last Dark Knight. And people were like, why would I book on that day? Why would I book on the same day as Avatar? You know that everyone's going to go see that movie. That being said, typically what does work is counter-programming, right? So I'm surprised they didn't counter-program that with, some sort of comedy.
Now, of course, they did put it out a limited release. So, like, there was one movie that came out into, like, they put it on 11 screens. So I think that's limited.
Limited to every single screen.
But it was the Steven Spielberg movie, Lincoln.
Oh, that's right. Eh? So they must have confidence in their movie, right?
Yeah. And so that one's getting we got a wider release this weekend.
Yeah.
And then it gets even a wider release, more screens on Wednesday.
So they're trying to build some buzz for it.
Yeah, because and not just that, but it's next weekend is the American Thanksgiving.
That's right. Yeah.
So I talked about this too, like a few weeks ago, about Sudbury and movie releases, and we tend to get ones that are big budget, obviously.
Yeah.
And the lower stream ones, even though I guess I have a little bit of a favoritism.
Do you?
Because I do work at Cineplex.
All right. Yeah,
So,
that's right. You do, eh?
So this week, not only is there's a little movie called it's getting a little bit of hype. It's part of it's a sequel. It's called Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Yeah.
That was getting a lot of buzz.
One thing that I don't understand about those movies, and I'm not going to criticize them by any means. Sorry to, again,
No,
catch
go
up
for
on
it.
the worst.
Yeah.
Not to criticize them. They're fine. They work for the fan base. They really enjoy those movies. So I can't rip on that. I don't really, I can't get into them for whatever reason. I don't understand though. To me, it seems like there's 5 movies, but for some reason the last 2 are called Part 1, Part 2.
Yeah,
I'm very confused by
They
that.
did that because of this is of course is my own opinion on it, because other franchises are doing it as well. Like Harry Potter, the last book.
That's
they
right.
They broke it off into 2. So it's an 8-movie box set. Breaking Dawn as well. They even though the book is probably about the same size, I don't read,
people,
so
yeah,
you know. So
I know I saw you over there trying to read, and you almost passed out. I think it's because the public doesn't respond as well when they hear Part 4, Part 5, Part 6. They feel like, okay, this is getting old now.
Yeah.
So then they, to keep it fresh, they call it sequel Part 1.
Yeah, and each of them are obviously they have their own titles for all the movies for the books as well, eh?
Yeah.
So when they got the huge success with the first Twilight movie,
Oh yeah.
they signed on.
It almost cost them nothing to make it.
Yeah.
I mean nothing. I mean.
Near.
I would
next
like
to,
to. I would
yeah.
like to have that much nothing. I think it was 20 million maybe. I don't know.
So when they announced that they were going to continue on with the franchise, they decided to, you know what, we're going to call it the Twilight Saga.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, okay, New Moon, Twilight Saga, Eclipse, Twilight Saga. Okay, so what are they going to call the first movie now? Because when I look at it, because I'm a fan of movies and everything, and my mom remembers taking me to see the original Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
I remember it too, but we remember it different ways. I remember watching it. She remembers me running around the theater.
Yeah.
So
you remember yourself sitting there taking notes, right?
Yeah, exactly,
Analyzing.
yeah. So, and that movie was called Star Wars.
Oh, that's right. And then, yeah.
And then it was later on down the road where they called it the Star Wars Saga, and it was called Episode 4, New Hope.
Yeah.
So I always tend to argue with people. It's like, well, what's the first one called? So they say it's Twilight. It's like, no, it's called the Twilight Saga. Yeah. And now they're doing the same thing with the Hunger Games.
Yeah, that's right.
So now it's the Hunger Games Catching Fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. How do you feel? I'm going to start asking you questions.
Uh-oh.
How do you feel about Disney's purchase of
Lucasfilms?
Lucasfilms, yeah.
I think it's going to be great. We talked again. This is one of this is like a.
You guys have been all over this already.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, like after it happened, I had my co-host James was here, and then last week I had a guest here of Greg Tremblay.
Yeah.
So
Greg.
So I'm used to talking about it now, and now Frank Marshall, who is a longtime producer with Fox, as well as he was producer on Indiana Jones films. He's actually come out and said that he's very excited.
Oh, really?
That because his wife is the new CEO of Lucasfilm.
Okay.
So just before the purchase, George Lucas promoted her.
Yeah.
Capable hands and everything. But we also were touching on the fact that Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher had lunch with George back during Celebration 6 in August.
Yeah.
And him saying that, how would you feel about making Episode 7, a new trilogy?
Yeah.
Them making it. So it's been, the deal's been in the works for more than 3 months and everything. So be interesting to see how they do. There's been numerous directors, a short list they've created, a secret
Yeah.
short list type of thing, and other people have been talking about who could be on the short list and everything. And there's one guy out there. He's one of my top favorite directors.
Okay.
Is Kevin Smith.
Oh, Kevin Smith.
And he's actually come out and said that if they ever do decide to make a movie, and he was at Celebration 6. He did his own little Q&A just before. He had a busy schedule that week because he was in Orlando, then Toronto, then Montreal, and all day type of thing. And he talked about what they could do for a Star Wars movie, and he still, people talk to him, but even after this Disney acquiring Lucasfilm, and the fact that, make a Boba Fett movie.
Yeah, it's interesting. Boba Fett would be really cool. Obviously, because a lot of people, even though he had so little camera time, people were intrigued by the character right away.
Yeah, and then they brought him back, in the original trilogy as
Exactly.
The Fett, as it were.
I'm interested because I've never seen Kevin Smith do anything of too big a budget, right? So I'd like to see, he tells good stories. I'd be interested. I'd be interested to see what he would do with that. I would just say Christopher Nolan for everything. Every movie ever made from now on, I think Christopher Nolan should make. That's my vote.
Now, he's actually, I like doing segues.
Okay.
Don't like writing them, but I do like making them type of thing.
They're fun.
And so, even like last week too, Greg was making something, and you made a comment there about Christopher Nolan. He's got a new movie that people say that he's got a new movie coming out, and it's The Man of Steel.
Yeah, well, he's not directing it.
No, and I like to correct people too.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he's producing it.
He's a writer and a producer.
He asked to develop something.
Yeah.
So him and his brother, as well as the other writer for the Batman trilogy, they were asked to do a treatment, and then try and handpick somebody to hand it off to.
Yeah.
So they picked Zack Snyder.
Yeah, that's right. Good pick.
Who's familiar with the comic book genre.
Yeah. Super talented.
Especially with DC, because he did Watchmen as well as 300.
I love Watchmen. I think that's an underrated movie.
Yeah. And then, so now he's got a movie coming out, and the actor playing Superman, was an actor that actually tried to get the role of Batman.
Oh, you don't say.
And, where's the sheet there? He's Henry Cavill.
Okay, yeah.
And
he was just in that movie with the he's got the bow and arrow. What are we talking about here? It's like a 300 type movie.
The Immortals.
The Immortals.
Yeah, so just after the announcement, and they were filming last year at the same time as Dark Knight Rises, because they were going for a December this year release. So they decided to go with, they pushed it back to the summer so they can make it their tentpole, as it were. But at the time, it was like, oh, he's got a movie coming out already. It's like, well, that was fast. He's popular now. He was in a show called The Tudors.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And,
I never watched it, but I've heard of it.
But now, at the Rainbow Cinemas, even though I do work at a cinema myself, I always like to promote the fact that there's movies out there and go watch them. Because
for sure.
Certain theaters, they don't play them. Like, after Dark Knight Rises left Cineplex, it opened at IMAX.
Oh, yeah.
In Sudbury.
Yeah.
So I think they still have it there, but you have to check the website and everything. But Henry's got a current film out this year called The Cold Light of Day.
Cold Light of Day? I seen it. It sucks. It's a terrible movie.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis?
Yes.
It is just so painful to watch. Like, you just want so much more out of the movie, and it's just bad acting, bad storyline. They don't develop the characters enough to make you actually care about them.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's always a big mistake in movies, is just spend just a little bit of time to make me care about what happens to this person, right? And they don't do that, and the acting's just really cheesy. It's just very all over the place. I don't think they knew where they were going with that movie. Sorry to cut it down. I don't know.
That's okay.
Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Sorry. I won't give
okay.
anything away. Sucks.
Okay, so we've had when we have the ticket holders come and they see a movie and we do what's called guest goodbyes. So when you're coming out of the theater, you see this uniform and the hat smiling at you and says, "Have a good night, enjoy the show, and good night, have a good type of thing." I've had
that makes me feel really good when they do that.
Yeah.
It's special.
And there was a movie that we had, and now it's downtown. It's called from I think it's the directing debut of Wu-Tang Clan member Ezra.
The Golden Fist or what?
Man with the Iron Fist.
Man with the Iron Fist. Did you watch it?
I've seen enough of it.
Okay.
And
I
enjoyed it because I'm in that type of genre.
I feel like I would love it. Okay. I never went to see it, but I feel like I would love it.
Yeah, because it's his music is in it.
Isn't it RZA?
Yeah, RZA. Yeah. And who else is in it?
Lucy Liu's in it.
Jamie Chun.
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
I always want to call him Kurt Russell. Russell Crowe.
That might up his cred then.
I don't know. I don't know what Kurt Russell's doing nowadays. So, although I am a big fan of Kurt Russell. No, it looks really, really good. I like those types of those films a lot. Actually, what I have been watching a little bit lately is like Korean revenge films, man.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen I Saw the Devil?
Have not yet.
Oh, dude, spectacular, man. Have you seen and I'm gonna forget the name of the movie. Come on, Cliff, you could remember. Old Boy.
Yes.
Spectacular movie.
Yes.
Just, I love movies with a good payoff. They're painful to watch for the first while because somebody is suffering. Your protagonist, the person you're watching is suffering for a good majority of the movie. But then there's that turnaround point where they take control of, their destiny and they get revenge. They're revengeful films, right? And it's just so unbelievably satisfying to watch. I don't know, if that says something about me, but I enjoy that sort of thing cinematically.
Now, the only thing I have, not really.
Wait! I got to cut you off.
Again,
the episode.ca. Anyways,
okay.
Continue.
And I like to say CKLU.ca because you listen to real music on CKLU 96.7 FM. You can find us streaming. A few weeks ago, we were saying screaming, so because it was Halloween and that. So you can find us streaming online at cklu.ca and give us a listen there. You probably are listening. So, and another thing
if you're not listening, you're not hearing us right now.
Yes, exactly. So make sure you tune in.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned Old Boy because that was one of the things that either it's hit and miss with what they're doing right now, which is they're making an American version of it.
Yeah, I'm always up in the air when they do things like that. They did such an incredible job with the first one. I know that they feel that they could bring it, because the story is so fantastic, they want to bring it and get that American audience behind it.
Yeah.
They really want to capitalize on it. I don't typically like when they do that, but they did a good job with Let the Right One In.
Yes.
Yeah, Let Me In was, a great, I don't know, redo or whatever you would call it.
Yeah.
Right?
It was originally a Swedish film.
Yeah.
And
I will say the Swedish one is still better, though.
Yeah. And but for Old Boy, they're already filming, and the director is Spike Lee.
Oh, really?
Yes, and playing the lead.
Pretty amazing.
Playing the lead is Josh Brolin.
Okay, interesting. Brolin, very good actor, actually. Yeah. He's finally getting the credit he deserves.
Yeah, considering that,
he is the one reason...
Goonies.
Oh, yeah, exactly. He is the one reason I enjoyed the latest Men in Black movie. I love Will Smith. Will Smith is like my idol since I was a kid. That's who I thought I was going to grow up and be somehow, some way. Because I also understood the parents just don't understand. And the girls of the world ain't nothing but trouble.
Yeah.
I'll sing those songs later on when we run out of things to talk about. But yeah, Josh Brolin plays such an amazing Tommy Lee Jones. It was unreal in that movie.
It was like they actually went back in time.
Yeah, it was like
and it was him, you know.
It was. I was so impressed with it. I love when actors are able to take on other actors. Actors that they have things about them that you know. Tommy Lee Jones has a cadence, a way he talks, right? And he was able to capture it really well. Same with this fella. I love this kid, man. He's an amazing actor. Joseph Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is spectacular, and in Looper, I think that he just nailed Bruce Willis, a young version of Bruce Willis.
That was one of the other discussions we had too about him being Robin.
Yeah,
in the Dark Knight.
Oh well, you just gave it away. Somebody is gonna.
Yeah,
be
but
watching
see,
the movie.
that's the other thing too. Is like there's production
spoiler
pics.
alert.
Production pics of him in costume, but they were just like they're photoshopped.
Yeah,
and he's just got the eyepiece on, so he looks like Nightwing, type of thing. And it's like, no, his name is Robin.
Yeah,
not you're gonna be Robin. No.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of people saying that he could don the costume for the upcoming Justice League movie.
What? Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool.
And have an appearance, to prelude to that, he may have an appearance in next year's Man of Steel as well.
Interesting.
So,
what did you think of The Dark Knight, the last one?
A lot of people are saying this, and I've actually gone back and watched a few other segments to it too. How can you stop being Batman if your girlfriend died? He's not Batman for 8 years.
Yeah.
Because his girlfriend died. Yet his parents were killed in front of him, and that's because he became the Batman. And
yeah, I get it. I get that. I think it was maybe you could make the sell that it was just too much, right? And I think that there was a direct reason. The Batman is what got his girlfriend killed, right?
Yeah.
Whereas his parents were killed for completely other reasons.
Yeah.
So I could see the sell there, like mentally, that's what he would deal with. I have a big love the movie. It's a great movie, but when you're like looking at a movie, and especially a movie by Christopher Nolan, he's done such a great job with that, trilogy. You really have higher expectations, right?
Yeah.
And I think if anybody else, for example, if Mick G made that movie, I would be like, yo, Mick G is finally a genius, This guy finally earned some money that was thrown at him. If you don't know, Mick G is a brutal director, okay? Sorry to, he's not like he's listening.
And he's one of those directors that came from music videos.
Yeah, it does bad transition.
He's, you know what, though? He is good for producing.
Yeah, for sure.
He's got numerous TV shows on TV right now. If anyone watches TV, nowadays,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I think there's better content on TV right now than there is in the theaters. Some of the writers on TV are blowing my mind. Like Breaking Bad, the writing on that show, the character development on that show is unbelievable. Like they're just so good. Dexter's getting a little bit weaker. I've missed the past few episodes. I've told that the season is picked up. I didn't really like the beginning of the season so far, but we'll see where they go with it. But to finish my thought on The Dark Knight, before we kind of go off too far, the one thing that really bummed me out is the fight scenes were so boring. Like they weren't enough, in my opinion. Like just the fight scenes between Bane and Batman, right? And in the comic books, these fight scenes are such an important part of the storyline, right? And one of the biggest parts is sorry, spoiler alert, it's already been spoiled.
It comes out next month on Blu-ray and DVD.
Yeah, you should have went and saw it by now, anyways. So who's the jerk? Anyways, the scene when Bane breaks Batman's back. Like that was the big scene in the comic books, right? That almost was the whole story. There was the breaking of Batman's back. it's almost like they glossed over it, eh? Like they didn't make a big thing. Like,
No.
I mean, the recovery, yes, but that actual scene where Bane picks him up and just snaps his back, I don't know. I felt like they just should have put more into that whole scene. It was just kind of Bane kicking Batman around. You know?
Yeah, and I think, like we've discussed this on the show before too, and the idea behind Dark Knight Rises was obviously not to include the Joker, but if you were to read the novelization for the movie, they do explain where the Joker is, and Blackgate is where all the inmates are now. And that's the prison
That's
that
right,
they open
that's
up because they closed off Arkham,
Okay, yeah, that's right.
but they left the Joker in there.
I'm not a gamer at all, but Arkham City, wow, what a cool game.
Again, another one we mentioned last week too.
Okay.
Even Greg's not a gamer
At all. No, I don't
And
play
he
games.
saw the one of the alternate endings of the game, and just the fact that like the quality of it.
It's amazing.
And even like the storyline too, because I have played it,
Yeah.
and the storyline of it is something of a movie itself.
Well, I agree.
You know,
but if they
and-
try to make a movie out of it, they'll ruin it, like they do with every other video game adaptation.
Yeah.
They just don't know how to do it for some reason. I don't know why.
Did you ever see the movie Doom?
Yes, I did. Just a terrible movie. Yeah, I didn't like
Doom.
it.
You know.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
I like the fact that the abbreviation of the weapon that Dwayne Johnson had was BFG.
Okay.
Big frickin' gun.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
how original is that?
Yeah, I know. It was pretty brutal. Yeah, you wonder how so many people are involved on a set, and nobody is like, yo, we could kind of come up with something better. But I guess that's what happens a lot of times on these, movie sets, especially when a lot of money's there. People just become yes men, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yes, man.
So like that, and the story of Dark Knight Rises was pretty much, I like to say, 3 of the storylines from the comic books.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Bane storyline as well. The other one was No Man's Land, which was, you could see it right there. That's the whole plan that Bane has, and they had to incorporate Bane into it as well. Eh? But also, it was the Dark Knight Returns.
Okay.
Which is an old Batman, old Bruce Wayne. He's retired for 10 years.
That's
and
right.
then he comes
That's
back.
right. Yeah, they were kind of
So
using
they
that,
decided to animate it.
Yeah.
The original 1986
Oh,
Frank
okay.
Miller graphic novel. And they actually, because DC likes doing...
Hold on, is it alright if I take my shoe off?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
People can't smell, so...
Oh, they should have that.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I'd just be like 30 minutes of farting into the microphone.
So they've released already the first half of the Dark Knight Returns animated film into a part 1, and part 2 comes out in January.
Okay.
And part 2 is actually where the story actually it gets more exciting.
Yeah.
Because in the first part, there's Two-Face and his reconstructive surgery.
Okay.
Even though it didn't cure his inside type thing, his brain and everything.
You would think.
And then
that
the
would
big
fix his
battle
brain.
with the Mutant King, as it were.
Oh,
Mutant leader. And now in the second half is when, because I was reading the book the other day, it's like, where's all the action? And it's like, if you haven't read the book, spoiler, it's been out for since '86.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Wonder Woman dies. The Joker dies.
You're breaking my heart, man.
Big fight scene with Superman that involves a one-armed Green Arrow.
Really? Like Superman and Green Arrow?
No,
fighting each other?
Green Arrow is off in the distance helping Batman because he's got those kryptonite arrows.
Of course, kryptonite. The most annoying thing about Superman, in my opinion, there's just like a small amount of kryptonite comes to Earth, and then all of a sudden it just seems to be everywhere the guy goes, right? He can't. Yeah. Everyone's got their hands on kryptonite all of a sudden. It's just like supposed to be this rare material, but everyone figures out a way to get it.
It's sort of like that. Like I saw the cartoon online there too. It's a comic strip of Batman and Superman's laughing at Batman, saying it's like, your parents were killed in front of you, and you can be shot too. It's like, and Batman goes back to him, it's like, your weakness is a rock. You know, like
Yeah,
he puts it, and so
my weakness is a rock too, though. It's true.
like a big one.
You know, I mean, many of my weaknesses, but one of them is a rock.
Yeah.
Throw a rock at me, it hurts.
So, and of course, speaking of Dark Knight Rises,
Yeah,
and Bane,
yeah.
Tom Hardy,
Excellent
the actor.
Spectacular actor. You ever
he-
get the chance, watch the movie
Bronson.
Bronson, yes.
Yes.
Thank you for helping me with that.
He's just signed on, or in negotiations, to take the lead in Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell.
Cool.
So that one is still a little ways away. He still has another one he's currently shooting right now, which is a long-anticipated sequel, follow-up film to the Mad Max franchise.
Awesome.
And that
Love
one's
those
called
movies.
Fury Road. And they're actually supposed to be making two of them back-to-back, a la Lord of the Rings type of thing.
Okay.
Where they're like, they get so much footage, then they split it off into two. For that purpose alone. Because that's what they did with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's
18
right.
months in New Zealand, split it off 3 movies. They did the same thing with the recent announcement of The Hobbit. It comes out in December.
That one should make a little bit of money.
And
Should make a couple bucks, that one.
Originally it was supposed to be 2 movies.
Oh, yeah?
But they had so much
So is it going to be
coverage.
like 8 hours of watching a tree walk through the forest?
No, because
That would be
they have to
exciting.
get to the forest first,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
just walking. Yeah, so more walking for
Yeah.
Bilbo Baggins. Ian
Exciting.
McKellen's back for that one as well. I think him and some of the older ones, Kate Blanchett.
Oh, I love her.
She's in that one. So and
She's grown
so
on
is
me.
Hugo Weaving.
She's like, can I just talk about, Kate Blanchett? So hot, so beautiful. She's one of those women you look at her at first and you're like, meh, you don't really think, and then the more you see her, and it could have a lot to do with the fact that she's a spectacular actress, and that really kind of lends to her appeal. But yeah, I'm a big fan. Just thought I'd share that with whoever's listening.
Every once in a while, too, we like to not just movies in theaters, but movies coming to DVD. Because when
Yeah.
you think about it, you go to the show, and you escape with your friends of Brad Pitt and Kate Blanchett for a little short time, but
Yeah.
then they're gone, and then all of a sudden
They're
they
always
show
with me.
up.
They're always with me in my heart.
So then they show up on Blu-ray and DVD, and they're there forever, for the masses and everything.
Gets annoying.
He's like, you have to share them now.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So, and this is what we call, my sister and I, we go out and we call, it's DVD Tuesday.
Oh, I get what's
you know,
going on there.
And then, but now with the technology of Blu-ray,
Yeah.
now it's becoming a depressing day of calling it Blues Day.
Oh.
So, but they are releasing for the first time onto Blu-ray the sequels to Cinderella.
Oh,
So
that's
Cinderella
exciting.
2 and 3. It's a double pack.
Yeah.
So, and just to tie into that, we like to acknowledge actors who have contributed their career to the craft and have passed away.
Sure.
And there was one actress, and I like to say it's not just a big bucket of wind, but it's a huge bucket of wind. Her decades of voice acting.
Okay.
And her name is Lucille Bliss, and she was the original voice of Smurfette.
Oh,
Do you know
that's
the Smurfs?
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. A little known fact about her: first female phone sex operator. Just kidding. Yeah, I don't know.
Now-
anything, so.
Okay, so current current animation and the voice people that do it and everything.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Bart Simpson is voiced by a woman.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Back in the day, she was the original voice of Elroy of the Jetsons.
Oh, cool.
She was later on let go from the voice because
Did they take her voice from her, or they just kind of fired her from the job? And
well, it was more of a, I'm not going to say it was a union thing, because she wanted to fight for, they wanted to give her a stage name. so people wouldn't
yeah.
know that it was a woman doing the voice of a little boy.
Well, yeah.
So she was a pioneer in that. And then, of course, she's got a huge list. If you go on to IMDb, she's got a huge list of stuff that she's done in
Internet
stuff
Movie
that's
Database.
Yeah.
That's what that stands for.
.com.
Yeah, .com. The episode.ca as well. You can find plenty of interesting and funny material on there. Comedy skits. You
And
can
then-
comment on stuff, have fun.
There was another one that came out this past summer. One of those big hits of the summer. It's coming out next week. It's did you get the chance to see The Expendables 2?
I did. I actually did get a chance to watch it. Yeah, it's what you expect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you
And,
can't complain. Like, it's not going to win an Academy Award by any means, but
I don't think they went for that either.
I don't think
they
that
had
was the
fun.
goal.
I think they had fun just trying to get all the guys together and then write a story around it.
Exactly. It's
You
like,
know.
let's see if we can get all of these guys. Like, amazing. Like, that would have been, like, the budget would have been $1 billion if that movie was made 20 years ago, right? Like,
Yeah.
these were the guys. Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Willis, Dolph Lundgren, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Chuck Norris, like the list,
Yeah.
Jet Li. The list goes on, even though we don't get as much Jet Li as I would have liked but they do start the movie off with an incredible fight scene. So
Before the movie even got released, they were talking about number 3.
of course, but, hey, you know what though? That sucks about that movie is domestically it didn't even make its budget back.
No.
But I believe worldwide they did.
Yeah.
So.
And so they opted to go with it, this third one. And so far, out of all the actors that they mentioned they would like in the film, I believe one has signed on.
Oh, yeah.
So far, because another actor, he can't. I don't know if they can solicit him or anything because he is in jail for tax evasion. I think it is.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes.
Oh yeah, he would be a good.
So
one to get in.
him, Clint Eastwood was another one. I believe the actor they did sign is Mr. Nicolas Cage.
Oh, Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
He's such an amazing actor. Just kidding. Nah, he is what he is, man. He annoys me.
So
I used to like him though. That's the thing that I think hurts me most about Nicolas Cage is that I was a big fan. Con Air and the one where at the prison there.
The Rock.
The Rock. Loved those movies, and then he just kept playing that same character over and over again. It just got.
Did you ever see
ruined Ghost Rider?
First or second one?
Both.
Just in general?
Yeah.
I pee fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever see Season of the Witch?
I did not. No. I do remember seeing
that one was actually it's half decent.
Yeah, okay. Half decent.
Half decent because Ron Perlman's in it.
Oh, that's cool.
He's from Sons of Anarchy and the original Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, and he's what's his name? The superhero.
Hellboy.
The devil. Hellboy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know why I did this fisticuffs thing, because if that helps you remember.
You got the one big hand. So
that's what I was trying to display for you.
So yeah, we were talking about the Expendables and Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. They were in a movie before the Expendables.
Together?
Sort of. And I love doing segues.
Is this like a trivia question here? Or
Well, sort of.
Okay.
It's a little because we got the trailers were released for the 3D re-release of Jurassic Park.
Okay.
It comes out next year because it's next year is the 20th anniversary of the film.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I enjoyed the original Jurassic Park, but and people ribbed me about it too. It's like I more enjoyed the movie that came out the week after. But because it came out a week after Jurassic Park,
it got buried.
Yeah, and the critics just thumbs down and everything else.
Movie?
It was an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie called Last Action Hero.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I do.
And it's about a ticket going into the movies and such. So and the whole Sylvester Stallone, yes, he's in it, but he's a cardboard cutout.
Yeah, okay.
Of Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, Terminator, from Terminator 2, because they were in a blockbuster,
Yeah, that's right.
video, and it's right there. And it's like I love his work. So
okay, cool.
But with that little segue,
little tidbit for everybody out there.
So I'm gonna play a song from that movie.
Okay, cool.
It was written for the movie.
I didn't know we did have music on this.
Once in a while, yeah.
It's called real music.
Yeah.
I didn't.
So, and I like playing music from movies.
Okay.
And this was a. It's not that it was a long lost song, but the original band finally was able to release it in one of their rarity collections a few years ago, and so and Arnold Schwarzenegger actually asked them to write a song for the movie. So it's an original song from the movie Last Action Hero, and this is AC/DC, Big Gun, and that was AC/DC with Big Gun. And
if you like AC/DC, sorry to cut you off again, I'm the worst. If you like AC/DC, you'll love the episode.ca. All right, sorry. Back to you, OJ.
So, one of the big things that I really love are obviously the comic book movies. And last year, did you get a chance to see X-Men First Class?
Yes, I did.
With Michael Fassbender and all them?
Yes, I like Fassbender.
Earlier this year, Matthew Vaughn was signed on to do the sequel. As well, they also announced the title because it was X-Men First Class.
Yeah.
First one.
You don't want to call the next one Second Class.
No, or Part 2 or whatever. Or First Class 2. So they went with a very popular storyline from the 80s called Days of Future Past. And a lot of people...
Days of Future Past?
Yeah. And it's a... Cable is sent from the future to the past to save the X-Men and save humanity from the Sentinel killing mutants.
I've always hated Sentinel killing mutants. Yeah. They're the worst.
So, and then a lot of people know... Because it was only a few issues in the Uncanny X-Men back in the 80s.
Yeah,
and,
I remember that.
A lot of people know the storyline more from the animated X-Men series from the 90s, where Bishop was sent back. So there's been talk of actors. So everyone from First Class is signed on. They actually had to push back production to January because of this...
Do you ever get people writing in, like, if you get your facts wrong, like, oh, it's not pushed back till January, it's pushed back till February?
Well, it could be to February. Matthew Vaughn has pushed away from directing it now.
Oh.
And one of the producers has stepped up to be the director.
Okay.
And it's not it's not his first rodeo as the X-Men director because he directed the first two, Bryan Singer.
Oh, I like Singer.
And he's also stated this week that the costumes will not be leather. No leather costumes.
No leather costumes.
Because that's what he did for the first two films. They had leather costumes.
Well, that's a big announcement, right? That's the big concern when making a movie. You know, what are the costumes going to be made out of? That's what I would have been worried about. I like Bryan Singer, actually. Another good director. Not a fan of his adaptation of Superman.
No, his adaptation was a add-in type of thing to the, as it were, the Donner films.
Yeah.
Because it was a sequel to number 2.
Yeah,
it wasn't a reboot or anything like the upcoming one comes out next summer.
Yeah.
But it was like he jumped ship from doing a Marvel movie, and it's like, no, I'm going to go do DC.
Yeah.
Another movie news that they start production next year on is the sequel to The Amazing Spider-Man.
Didn't mind the movie. I feel like the movie got a lot more hate than it deserved.
Yeah?
Yeah, so it could be, it's all a perception thing when you go into a movie, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I try to avoid all the, websites like Rotten Tomatoes and all these reviews and stuff. I actually love reading the reviews after I've seen the movie, right? I like to kind of see
It's
what
like,
they were saying.
I like that part. And then they talk about something else, like, oh yeah, I hated that part too. And,
Yeah, exactly, right? But I didn't, going into it, unfortunately, I didn't watch it right away, but I heard from, a lot of people like, oh, it's not that good and all this stuff, and I watched it and I was like, you know what, I was fine with it.
Yeah.
There was some areas that were weak. I didn't mind it though. I thought it was fun. I thought he was funnier than Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
And
especially after the last outing, where you had emo Peter Parker.
Oh, that was just absolutely brutal, and they didn't know where they were going with that movie either. They had so many bad guys in it, and they tried to jam too much into one movie, that last movie. But the Amazing Spider-Man, I like that they went, because that was the thing when I was a kid, why I liked Spider-Man so much, was because he was always witty. He was always coming up with little clever remarks, right? And that scene when the guy pulls out the knife and he's like, oh, I
got my weakness.
Exactly. And I was just like, awesome. That is the Spider-Man I remember.
And then the whole, and then he goes to web shoot, ting, ting, and then, ting.
Yeah, exactly. If you didn't see the movie, you probably have no idea what he was just doing there.
So, one of the actors that that has tweeted that he will be involved, the director Mark Webb has come on.
Perfect name.
Yeah, he's come on board to say that this actor he's top of the list to be a villain. But the actor of the upcoming movie Django Unchained, Jamie Foxx.
Oh, interesting.
At Halloween time, he went as far as to talk about being in the movie. He dressed up as a villain, Electro. So,
speaking of Jamie Foxx, the episode.ca.
The episode.ca.
Go check it out. But no, what is it? Dango Unchained?
Django.
Yes. It's like Jenga. Jenga. You take a block from the bottom and you put it on top. You take a block from the middle, and you also put it on top. That movie looks really cool, man. I'm really pumped about seeing Django Unchained.
Yeah, and it steals. Well, I'm not going to say it steals because it's Quentin Tarantino that's directing it, so he always finds a way to. He loves movies, and if you watch him, he is passionate. Like he'll go on I talk about with my wife, and I see my niece.
You have a wife?
Yes, I have a wife.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
And
I'm just not going to go anywhere.
Her and my niece, they're talking, and they're talking like really fast. And there's a show called Gilmore Girls, and the mother and the daughter, they do the exact same thing. It's like on high speed type thing, right?
I get what just happened there. You had to bring up the wife, so you don't want people to know that you're actually a Gilmore Girl fan, aren't you?
No, I'm more Saved by the Bell.
Oh, okay, cool. I can respect that. Zach Morris.
And you know what? We just have to do one little piece of business.
Business. I like business.
Besides the episode.ca and CKLU.ca, just got to, as it were, just to pay some bills. And
just to pay those bills.
Yeah, so
more money, more problems.
We'll be back in about in $1.50. So that's a little bit more than just to make up for it. So we were talking about Jamie Foxx, Quentin Tarantino.
Yep.
That's one of the other DVDs that's coming out on Tuesday. Is the Tarantino XX, because he's been in filmmaking for 20 years now, and one of his early movies that he wrote was a movie called True Romance.
Love that movie with Christian
Did you?
Slater.
You love it?
Love it.
Did you ever see it on screen? On the big screen?
I think I watched it on VHS.
Okay. Because Cineplex, this is what I love about working at Cineplex and what they're doing with films nowadays.
What are they doing, OJ?
Last month, and for the past 2 years actually, they do what's called a classic film series.
Awesome.
And last month they showed a double feature. It was in the theme of October, which is Halloween, and it was Dracula and Frankenstein, the original 1931 classics.
Awesome.
Digitally remastered, restored. This month had the 50th anniversary of another digitally restored, and when I say restored, I mean like there was like 20 minutes of stuff lost from the original American release of it. So they digitally remastered it, and it was a movie called Lawrence of Arabia, starring Peter O'Toole and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, now I can't remember his name now.
I don't know his name.
The original Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I can't remember.
Anyway, and Omar Sharif was in it too, and it played on Remembrance Day, last Sunday, and this past Wednesday as well, and it was 4 hours, 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's a pretty long movie.
Now, and they also started they also started doing something last year as well, and Sebri is getting in on the action as well. They started doing this thing called Most Wanted Mondays, and you can go onto the Cineplex website and vote for what you want to see, and they give you like the options. And last month was the first one we aired, and it was
True Romance?
The Shining.
Oh, The Shining.
Just before Halloween.
Oh, I love that movie too.
So, and now, not this Monday coming up, but next Monday. But by the time people hear this as a podcast, it'll be Monday. On the 26th, I think it is. 25th. I want to say 26th. True Romance will be on the big screen.
Awesome.
And
I'll have to go check that out. Brad Pitt's in that movie, yeah?
Is he?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Super quick cameo appearance, almost unrecognizable, and there's another actor that's in it that's you don't even recognize him. I believe it's Val Kilmer is the other one that's in the movie. That he's the one that's dressed up like Elvis.
Oh, yes, I remember that image, yes.
Yeah. Brad Pitt plays a stoner. It was like when nobody knew who Brad Pitt was then.
Like Thelma and Louise type of...
Well, Thelma and Louise is what put him on the map, right? He was the hot guy, right? And that's really what put him on the map. That in the cartoon movie, what was that one again? The
Cool World.
Cool World, yeah. That one of their first attempts at mixing cartoons and reality. One of them. There was other ones, but that's definitely what put Brad Pitt on the map. Speaking of Brad Pitt, have you seen the commercial for World War Z?
Yes.
Holy jeez, that looks awesome.
The trailer is, I got to see it online, as well as the other night we had the 10 o'clock showing of the new Twilight film.
Awesome.
And it was on it.
Wicked.
It's like, this is a teen, teen drama type of movie that teen kids will go see, but the zombie tidal wave is like amazed me, and
I like it. Past zombies,
and I like the fact that I always when I hear about a movie like this one, because I've read the book and I'm rereading it again, and I see the trailer, and it's like, and I know who's on in the movie, and I hear who's signed on and everything, and it's not until you see the trailer, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot that. Oh yeah, and because Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad is supposed to be in it as well.
He's so good, man.
Did you see him? Did you see Total Recall?
I did. Another movie that I actually didn't think was that bad, that did terrible at the box office, just got ripped apart by critics, and it was an entertaining movie. Like, I don't know what people... I mean, there's issues with the movie. Like, I didn't really care about this whole train that goes through the earth. Like, that was kind of silly. But come on, Jessica Biel and Kate Beckinsale?
Yeah.
Oh my God, how do you not go out to see that movie? Like, those are the two most beautiful women in Hollywood, I would say. Pretty close.
And Kate Blanchett.
And Kate Blanchett. The episode.ca, should go check it out. Lots of entertaining stuff on there. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. That's what we should do. We should add a segment. I've been wanting to add a segment to the show for a while now that has something to do with like a movie review, like something like a couple minutes of what movies are coming out, which ones, We
had my sister had texted me before one of the other shows that she came in on, and she said, "I'm going to go see Looper." I said, "Perfect. You can be our movie reviewer this weekend."
Yeah.
So we get to it, and it's exactly because our humor is like the same type of thing, and James just happened to be here as well. So we had a full host. So I turned to my sister and said, "What's your review of?" Here's Catherine with her review of the Looper. It was great. It was perfect, you know.
Yeah, that's all you need.
It's all you really need, and then
no spoilers in there.
No. And what was the other thing? We had mentioned earlier too about Dark Knight Rises playing at the IMAX. I believe it's still there, but recently in the news, Warner Brothers and IMAX have signed a 20-picture deal.
That's really cool.
So
that's fun.
And the article is longer than.
It's long?
Well, it's longer than the next X-Men costumes. So.
Whoa. I always wanted to have like a movie theater where you could actually eat at the movie theater. I know you could eat at movie theaters now, but I mean like order dinner. I don't know how you do it because people will probably be talking through the whole movie. But I've always liked the idea of dinner theater, right? And then I was like, it would be cool to transition those together. I'm sure some savvy businessman's probably listening right now and is going to steal my idea. But I actually hope you do because I want to go to this place. That it's dinner theater, but it's like movie theater.
Like dinner and a movie.
Dinner and a movie.
But you're
right?
in watching the movie while you're eating.
Well, exactly, right.
But at a table.
At a table,
like,
right?
Yeah. I
just think that would be fun. And it doesn't have to be new releases, right? It could be, classics or something like that. Or there could be a really cool way to, I think it would be really fun to find a way to mix live theater with the movie somehow,
Almost like they do this in the States a lot. Right around in October, they play Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's one.
And then they reenact the scene in front of the screen.
That's hilarious.
And so
Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's one of those movies where people that go to see the movie, like they know all the lines to the movie, right? They just kind of go along with it. It's one of those. That's like the first cult classic, right? That would be identified as a cult classic, right?
Yeah.
Released in one theater and just kept building an audience, right? And just stayed in there forever.
And now, of course, you're listening to us on 96.7 FM.
96.7 FM.
And some people have actually been trying to find us online, so you can actually tell your friends.
If you have any.
If you have any.
Or if you don't, go make some friends.
Make some friends. Tell them, hey, I'm listening to real music. So should you. And you can find us streaming online at cklu.ca. And Cliff, you can be reached at.
I can be reached at, you can watch my material on the episode.ca. Okay. And, if you want to send me any ideas, any show ideas, you want to get involved with the show, because we're always trying to get as many people involved as possible. I believe that, you get enough minds coming up with ideas, you're going to come up with something spectacular, right? So, the episode.ca, and you can email us at the episode at the episode.ca. You can find us online as well. It's facebook.com/the-episode show. And we're also on YouTube. But, just go to the episode.ca. I don't want to give you too much. I'm sure you're not sitting there listening to the show with a pen and piece of paper. Maybe you are. I don't know.
Now I'm just picturing in my head somebody like, what was all that information? Oh my God.
Notes, yeah, panicking.
So, some of the other movie releases, like we talked about, was Wenken is getting a wider release, and Subree's getting it on Wednesday, just before the American Thanksgiving. And actually, we're getting a slew of movies on Wednesday. The new Ang Lee movie, Life of Pi, is getting a 3D release.
What kind of pie are we talking about here?
Just the two lines with a squiggly.
Cool.
That thing, yeah.
Okay. I didn't even consider that pie.
Yeah. 3.14, I don't know. Anyway, the Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence film with Robert De Niro. It's called Silver Linings Playbook. We have a lot of the promos on what they call a pre-show at the theater, and there's a scene in it that they show, and it's the scene from the movie, obviously, and they're running past each other, and she almost hits them like they're jogging.
I remember that scene.
And it sticks in my mind, and it's like, and he says to her, it's like, run someplace else. And then she says, like, calm down, crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
it's fine. Looks pretty funny. Looks like one of those, it just looked very dramatic.
Yeah, it was a bit. It was actually, I believe it was. It wasn't a People's Choice Award at TIFF. It was something else. I think it was a midnight screening award at TIFF.
TIFF, Toronto International Film Festival.
Yeah. And one of the other, we're getting another 3D release of another kids movie called Rise of the Guardians, which involves
owls.
No. This is that's the Legends of Gaul.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I first heard like the Rise of the Guardians, oh yeah, they're making a sequel. It's like, no, it's Santa, the Sandman, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny.
Bunch of rebel rousers.
And they recruit Jack Frost.
Of course they do.
Because they have to go up against a villain of nightmares. Who's and the voice work? Santa is being voiced by Alec Baldwin.
Awesome.
Chris Pine, who's famous for being Star Trek, that comes out next year. He's doing Jack Frost, and Jude Law is playing the villain, and that comes out on Wednesday.
Who's famous? Who's famous for being Jude Law?
Yes. Now, did you ever see a movie called from the '80s? I think it was '80s. Starred Patrick Swayze and Harry Dean Stanton. A movie called Red Dawn.
Yeah, they're redoing it.
We're getting it on Wednesday.
That was a wicked movie. I'm curious what they're going to do with this remake.
This one is similar to the fact of production-wise to a movie that came out earlier this year called Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods. I enjoyed it.
With what's his name? Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah. Thor.
Yeah.
Who's also in Red Dawn.
Red Dawn, yeah, and both movies were made 3 years ago.
Yeah, you don't say.
So this was before he became Thor.
That's a bad sign.
And it's because of MGM. They own the rights to it, and they were going through trying to sell their company.
Okay.
And at the same time them doing that, they had to hold production off of James Bond as well.
Really?
So they had to set everything back, hold off on everything releasing, because they really wanted to do this.
I always get
James
scared
Bond,
when movies are shelved for a while, right? It's like, they're not confident in the film. And then all of a sudden somebody in the film gets really famous, and they're like, we'll do that now, yes. Let's throw that out there.
And that's exactly what's happening with the next X-Men movie, is that they're waiting for Jennifer Lawrence.
To get even more famous?
Because she's filming right now Catching Fire.
Yeah, that's right.
And
her name's growing very quickly. Also super hot. Just have to throw that out there.
That's what people tend to say. It's like, OJ, you say too much.
You do say it every once in a while. I'm not keeping count though, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
I can't count past 6. So.
I'm running. See, I always run out of stuff.
You ran out of stuff?
I ran out of stuff.
Oh, well, then I'll just keep talking about myself. That's amazing. So, when you go onto the episode.ca, I really want you to let all your friends know about it. And like we said earlier, if you don't have friends, go out and make friends. How I would suggest you do that, hang around at the library. A lot of people in the library, even if they're trying to read, just approach them and pretend you're interested in the book they're reading. And that might make you a friend. You got any tips for making friends, OJ?
I don't have any friends.
So
I'm listening to you with the tips. I'm writing this stuff down.
Just go out in public and awkwardly stare at people until they're so uncomfortable they have no choice but to, befriend you. I feel like these are things that would work. What else? Produce a TV show called The Episode that you could find at theepisode.ca. And listen to this, okay? I keep saying this is probably like annoying people at this point. But I really want you to get on there because I think it's a great opportunity to, again, it's a Northern Ontario thing, right? And it's a way for us to kind of, have some fun and show that Northern Ontario does have actual personality. A lot of funny people around here. I mean, it's a laundry list of people that are doing awesome things in this community, and I'm really pumped about it. I'm really pumped about the movies that are coming to town. So it's giving other people options, right? It's really tough when you grow up in the city and you don't feel like you have a lot of options other than becoming a miner. Not that there's anything wrong with that profession. It's a great profession, but it's not necessarily what everyone wants to do. There's a lot of creative, artists and, even if you're not like, a lot of people, they don't necessarily identify themselves as an artist because they don't paint, they don't, make music, but there's so many different forms of art, right? Creating, writing, just even creative thinking, coming up with ideas, right? And that's what I love about the episode too. It gives people that opportunity. And one of the things, I don't know, how many people go to College Humor. Do you ever go to College Humor, OJ?
Yeah.
Love it. One of my favorite websites. And basically what it is, it's an online TV channel. And that's kind of what I want to do with the episode. Like when you go to the episode, there's the episode.ca on the top left. There's a link that says funny videos. When you click on that, it links to a YouTube channel called The Lamont Experience. One of the fellows we work with, Sean Lamont, super funny, up and coming, amazingly talented guy. So you could see a lot of his videos there at the Lamont Experience, but you could click to the link from the episode.ca. As well, we have something called Channel 91, which is hosted, that YouTube channel is hosted by our show's host, John Willett, and his brother Josh Willett, who, these guys are an amazingly funny comedic duo. As well, we have something called Dead TV on there that leads to a YouTube channel that is the YouTube channel for Dead Celebrity Status. That's a musical group that came out of Sudbury.
Yeah.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who they are. Yeah.
And they did fantastic things, right? I would say that they are the biggest band to ever come out of Sudbury. They got signed to Sony, they got signed to Blood Music, and now they're with 682 Records, which is also they're local, but they're international. Like they're locally based, but they're an international company, right? So they're a big label. They're doing amazing things, producing amazing artists, right? Have I used the word amazing enough? I'm amazed at how many times I could say amazing. But they're great as well. But you could get onto, the Dead TV, Dead Celebrity Status's YouTube channel where they're doing all these updates because they have their album coming out soon, which is amazing. And then as well, we don't have it on there as well, but we're creating a channel for Mitch Gagno, who is a UFC fighter from Sudbury.
From Sudbury, yeah.
Yeah, who's an amazing fighter. We're actually, Your Media Productions, the company that I co-own with Mike St. Pierre, we are now his management team, right? So
that's cool.
He's got an international manager, and we also manage him. So we do sponsorships for him. So if anybody's listening and they want to sponsor a UFC fighter, get a hold of me, okay? I'm not difficult to track down. So he's doing amazing things as well, and then he's going to be putting like kind of training things and keeping people up to date with his career. He's doing amazing in the UFC. Won his last fight. His first fight was Fight of the Night. The first UFC fighter to ever win Fight of the Night in their debut fight. So that's pretty amazing. And I'm really proud of the guy. I think he's doing incredible things, training all the time. Great role model. Awesome dude to sponsor, so I highly recommend you do that if you're into that sort of thing. Definitely want to kind of keep promoting the episode.ca. And also, if there's other people out there doing things that want to get involved with what we're doing, if we've grown a fan base on there, and what we want to do with the show is we want to help other people grow. So if you're doing something and you want it to grow, something that whatever it is, entertaining, you have your own YouTube channel, you're doing videos, whatever, and you want to get involved with the episode, get a hold of me, and let's sit down and chit-chat about it. So.
And what is that website again?
It is www.theepisode.ca. No, www.theepisode.ca. You don't need to do the W's. I see a lot of people always typing out the W's. You're wasting your time, man. You don't need to put the W's on there. Just write the word and then the .com.ca or whatever it is. So theepisode.ca, and you can check out all our stuff on there. So
now, will you be? Because I know you guys were on Eastlink.
We were on Eastlink. So I actually can't really give away too much at this point, but we do have a deal with a network that is significantly bigger. It's a 13-episode deal. Our show will not be starting back up till May, but we still are releasing videos. We're doing all of our online stuff.
So you're still doing your stuff.
We're still doing our stuff, so there's always original content going up there. We still have our caption contests, which are fun, and we're always putting funny pictures up there and videos and all that stuff. But we do have a network deal that's going to get us a ton of coverage. And so, yeah, we're trying to do our best to make Northern Ontario proud.
That's perfect. So once it gets closer to there, I'm probably going to go on and try and get you back here in the studio again.
Yeah, I'll drop by whenever. This is fun. I like this.
Now, of course, if you start knocking and nobody's in the studio and you know we're here, it's like we're hiding.
You're probably hiding under the table.
Yeah.
Start kamikazing your interviews. Start talking about myself.
So it's coming down to the end of the show this week. I'd like to thank Cliff for stopping in.
I would like to thank OJ for allowing me to stop in and for inviting me over to the show. This is really fun. I appreciate it a lot.
Hey, anytime. Greg was last week. Greg Trombley. He said the same thing. He had fun, and same with.
He lied. He lied because I talked to him later, and he said I did not have fun.
And Rob Chiquetto, the
awesome
zombie
artist.
Portraits guy.
Yeah, you got to check his stuff out. It's pretty incredible.
And so yeah, we look forward to we get some more people lined up. Hopefully, we get some confirmation for next month. We have a few people. We have a few people that we're interested in trying to get on board here. Next week, one of my co-hosts will be back. Hopefully, both, but at least one.
How much time do we have?
Couple minutes. Do you want to mention the episode.ca?
Well, no, because when I was 12 years old, I wrote a rap, and I really wanted to share it.
Is it original?
It's an original rap, man. I wrote this when I was 12 years old, okay? And I used to perform for my mom and my sisters. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, it's been in the papers, it's been in the news, and it's what the new generation will choose. Everyone knows it from your local papers to your worldwide mappers. They all pick the new rappers, and then this was my friend, this was his part, he called himself Bass. He goes, it's me, the Bass 1-1, and don't get in my face, I'm just a kid, growing up. Messing me, you be throwing up. 12, that's my age, and I'm on a rampage. I called myself CLT, so this is where I came in, okay? Clifton, I took the CLT. Yo, Bass, that was fine. Now it's time for mine. You're right at CLT, and if you mess with me, I'll send you to the cemetery. And then we came in together and we said, we don't lie, we don't cheat, so the least you could do is listen to the beat. That's the least you could do, man, is listen to 96.7, listen to real music, listen to OJ. He's doing an amazing thing here, and I'm really, really happy that you had me on the show. This was fun.
Thank you. And, look at that. So it is the end of the show. Like Cliff has said, I'm your host, OJ. This is Real Music on 96.7 FM, CKLU.ca, and it's been a blast this week, and have a week, folks.